everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Leo 1. We are now changing everything. And instead of keeping the cards that I had on the table and just removing them and replacing them, I put everything new down because it's every single card except for these ones off to the side. My table is very empty right now because I'm changing out decorations and I'm doing a couple different things. And I took advantage of this just being wide open and beautiful and not crowded. And I figured I'd just keep it like this because I don't know, I kind of sometimes feel like I'm very cluttery on the table with everything. I've also decided from this point forward to remove the moon cards. They just really weren't working. Like sometimes they were spot on, sometimes they were way out in left field. So I just decided from this point forward, we're going to simplify things and we're just going to remove it because it was really honestly quite irrelevant when it came to what we're trying to do and learn here. So just keep it simple, right? So I simplified. Now, I always spend a little bit of time talking about the card before. So the card before was the Four of Cups. We were in the Four of Cup energy. And honestly, it was exactly what I kind of thought it was going to be. It was a very boring period. There wasn't a whole heck of a lot that was happening. It kind of felt like time was just dragging by, if that makes any sense. And just like a whole lot of nothing, which is awesome. I mean, like, I would rather have nothing happen than like crazy chaos happen, right? So to me, it was a very quiet period. It was very, just quiet, like not a lot happening, nothing really going on. So, I guess that's my takeaway from it, honestly. There just wasn't a whole heck of a lot happening, which is good. It was kind of frustrating in some ways too, though, because you would try to accomplish something or get something done, and it just kind of felt like nothing was happening. And I kind of had this like blah energy where like I just really honestly wanted to curl up on the couch and just watch some movies. And I know I'm way ahead of time, but I've already maybe busted out like Hocus Pocus and Practical Magic and just some of my favorite Halloween movies because I was feeling really like I just wanted that comfy, cozy fall feel. I feel like that's kind of what the Four of Cup energy was bringing me, was just that desire to be cozy, comfy, curl up on the couch and just watch some of my favorite Halloween movies. Watched a couple scary ones too, like a couple of my favorite horror movies. So I don't know, that's kind of what I spent my time doing. Like I said, really quiet period, which isn't a big deal, right? Like I prefer that. All right, so let's get in here and look at all of this because this is all different. We've got a whole lot of stuff going on. So I'm going to start with the first one. We are in Leo season. So here's our Leo card from the Stars Divine. It is a fixed symbol. And it is a fire sign. So there's those. We are going to be spending this next decan in the Five of Wands. We are also going to have the Strength card with us. And the World. And then here's our Hermetic Tarots. So in Hermetic Tarot, it is Fortitude. Here's our Five of Wands, which is Lord of Strife. And Universe, which is the Great One of the Night of Time. And for Fortitude, it is Daughter of the Flaming Sword. So here's our Hermetic Tarot ones. And then our planetary element, I guess I should say, is Saturn. We are dealing with Saturn again. All right. And then these ones have not changed. These are all still the same. And like I've said in previous videos, these are extra energies to tap into. The easiest way of explaining them, which I feel anyways, the easiest way is just this gives us an opportunity to look at the court cards and maybe help us to understand the court cards a little bit better. That's why they're over here, and they kind of reflect in like with the seasons and the different things that are happening. And that's why when I say they're the extra energies here, they're there to help us understand the court cards a little bit better. right? Maybe people that we are going to encounter during this period, or the underlying energies and tones and personalities, right? So that's kind of what it is. Someone did ask me the question, I think it was in the last video, and I tried my best to explain it, but it just isn't that easy to explain in words. And so, if for me, anyways. So, like I said, it's just a really easy way to kind of understand the energy of the court cards, because these are people, right? These are people, these are personalities, not necessarily the wands, or like the aces, I should say, but the kings, the queens, the princesses, the pages, the knights, all of that stuff. These are people. The court cards are people or personalities around us, right? So it's just an easy way to kind of tap in and maybe understand them a little bit better. All right, so with that being said and out of the way, they're still over here. Nothing's changing with them, but all of this has changed. So we have a lot of reading to do. I'm going to get in here. Let's read about Leo. Let's start right up at the top. All right, so Leo, we have the fire element. It is a fixed sign. Its ruler is the sun, symbol the lion. Leo is a theatrical performer of the zodiac. Bright like the sun, the sign shines for all to see. It enjoys the taste of royalty and demonstrates elegant style. A magical child at heart, this cat loves to play. Loyalty is given from this honest entertainer. So that is the sign that we're in right now. We're in our Leo season. We're going to be dealing with very soon. The Lionsgate portal will be happening, and that's coming into play. Leo season's I like Leo season. Leo season's usually happy. It's usually happy. There's usually, nice things happening. All right. So our fixed signs: Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. So the fixed signs mark the middle of each season. So we are in the middle of summer right now. So that is like full blown, full forced, beautiful summer season. And that is exactly what, like I said, that warm, fiery energy of the Leo. All of, like, you find like the car shows and the markets and the festivals and all of that stuff starts happening in August. Kind of like that celebrating of that wind down before September happens, right? So like August is like your last hurrah of summer before everyone's got to go back to school. All right, so Taurus is a full blossoming spring, Leo, the height of the summer, Scorpio, the turning of the fall leaves, and Aquarius, the cold of winter. This gives these signs endurance, perseverance, and dedication. And then if you want to read about the fire element, all right. So our fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. To all my Leo people, happy birthday. Fire represents passion, desire, ambition, and the sparks of life that is sparks of energy that is life. It seeks to impress and be seen. Creativity, confidence, warmth, and inspiration are fiery. Fiery energies. Due to its activity, it is enthusiastic and optimistic. Which is kind of funny because I find that kind of like well, no, I guess it doesn't. I don't know. We'll see. Because I do feel that Leos are really competitive. So maybe that's like why this is making a little bit sense to me. And then I love that we have the strength card in this. So we're getting all this Leo lion energy. We got a lion here and a lion there and a lion there and just lions everywhere. All right. So that's our stars divine. So that's everything that's happening in here now. So that's all of the seasonal change, the signs we're in, all that different stuff. Oops, while I'm having it out, I might as well, let's look at Saturn. All right, so Saturn. Saturn teaches discipline. It creates limitations in order to grow. It is a strict parent offering a great reward for a job well done. Responsibility, maturity, dedication, perseverance, and structures are among its features. All right. So that to me goes really hand in hand with like the Leo energy, right? The Leo personality. So that all makes a lot of sense to me. All right, let's get in and check out these cards and let's see what Susan says about the Five of Wands and what to look for or what to expect and what's going to come forward. So once again, we are reading from the 36 Secrets a decanic journey through the minor arcana of tarot, and this is T. Susan Chang's book. This is a fabulous book. If you guys don't own this book yet, get it. It is well worth the money. Even when this year's done, I'm going to still keep referring to this because I find that it's crazy how perfectly aligned these energies all seem to be. I mean, like I keep saying, it might just be my life. I don't know, but like, it's weird how all this stuff just, it's really honestly what happens each time of the year. It's kind of like what we're in. So it's kind of like a roadmap to what's happening or what's going to happen. And I love that about it. It's so interesting. All right, so in her book, she talks about the five of wands, we enter into the realm of Leo. In tarot terms, the strength or lust card, right? So, or fortitude, right? She doesn't mention the fortitude card. Here is the search for the limelight, the quest for flame and glory, the hunger of one's moment in the sun. But there is no victor without a tournament first. You can almost sense the blood pounding, the adrenaline racing. It's audition time. Reach for the beta blockers. Let the game begin. So obviously, we're going to be coming into a period of competition, arguing, things not really like when I get the Five of Wands, it makes me think of like everyone arguing, everyone having their own opinion, and none of them aligning, and it's just causing like chaos. Like nothing is reaching an accomplishment, nothing is reaching an end, nothing is reaching an answer. It's just everything's tied up and in a mess and is jimble jambled all on top of each other, right? If that makes any sense. I just feel like it's just a lot of clashing of wants, needs, desires, personalities, and nobody is moving forward because everybody's standing in each other's way. And that's kind of the energy that I get from the Five of Wands. So she says you can think of the Five of Wands as a pressure cooker. She says it's because we can take the crushing weight of the Saturn, the radiant, steady heat of Leo, and you put them into like an Instapot, and it creates tempers to simmer, brows to sweat, opposing views of viewed content, opposing points of viewed content. But in a way though, like even though it's not fighting like destructive fighting, it's like almost constructive fighting, right? Where like there's a goal in mind, there's something that's trying to be accomplished, and a debate that needs to happen. And it's just saying that it's to show who's the strongest, who's the fittest, and who's the best choice, right? And that's kind of the energy. And it's interesting because the next card obviously is going to be the Six of Wands, which is about victory. So we're going to see who the victor is, who won this battle, who persevered this challenge and obstacles, right? So that's really interesting to think about. We're going to see who, the victor is in the next decan. So she says that's when we're facing our own challenges, we will do well with remembering that strife is just another way of saying striving. No matter how daunting the task is, there is always a prize to be won. And it may not be something that we can polish or display on a shelf. It may not even be something that we want or choose, but it might just be the making of a personal legend, right? So it's like obviously something that needs to happen to advance us on our path of life, right? So it's something that needs to happen, whether we want it to or not, kind of in the way. And our results might not be exactly what we want, but it needs to happen. And it's what needs to happen to align us on our path and to keep us going forward. So to keep things really light, the World card represents the ripening fruit. So it has that agricultural ties to the pentagrams, right? And it says, like the womb, the reef of the World card both confines and nurtures. So when we combine these two together, the strength and the world, we find ourselves in a virtual hothouse. Imagine a growing operation or a high tunnel or greenhouse where plants have been growing rampant, pumped up with nitrogen and phosphate, leaves pressing against the glass. But soon enough, the scythe will descend, leaving only the strongest to represent its kind, right? So harvesting, picking, doing what needs to be done. Very interesting concept about how this is like the womb. And there's like the nurturing and like the growing inside. That's really quite an interesting concept. I always tend to see, and I know it's a reef in this card, but I have seen it in other cards where it's the Ouroboros, and I always tend to look at it as the Ouroboros, where it's like a cycle has to end for another to begin, and I tend to look at kind of like that in a way, more so the World card to me. In her book, she refers to a lot about the Strength card and Lust card, Justice and Hermit, and where it falls on the Kabbalah Tree of Life. I haven't been spending a lot of time visiting the Kabbalah because I feel that that information is like a whole nother world and it's like a lot to go over. So I almost feel like you would have visit the Kabbalah first and understand that system before then going on to a Decan journey, if you really wanted to reap the full rewards, right? But the Kabbalah it's sometimes a difficult thing to understand. It depends on what, like, the book you get, right? So obviously, if you get a really good book, it will break it down and make it a lot easier for you to understand. So a lot of her talkings in this is about the Kabbalah, and she talks about the Greek story of Saturn and how he ate his children, right? And we all know that story, which is Kronos, right? So Kronos is the Greek equivalent of Saturn, right? So she kind of spends a lot of time talking about that, and honestly, there just isn't really that much she talks about these cards. This is actually a pretty short chapter, in this book, but we will continue with what she's saying. So she talks about how in her life, the Five of Wands has kind of always been high pressure situations, tests, exams, schools, stuff like that, outdoor activities like competition, baseball, frisbee tournaments, soccer games, stuff like that, which is all, like I said, that whole thing that happens in we're in that last summer month right before September starts. So it's going to be car shows and the best car wins, and festivals where we hear the best of the bands playing. We're going to be seeing markets where people are going to be selling stuff and needing to be the best so that they catch your attention and gain your dollar, right? So I feel like that's all very much part of that Five of Wands energy. And then she talks about how just a lot of different stuff happening, and she talks a lot about cooking and like just that heat in that kitchen, and things pouring too hot of liquid into glass and it exploding, and different things like that. So just pretty much the heat of everything, right? The heat of it all. Sorry, my camera was a little crooked. And just like she says, fried chicken and oil splattering, and even it's just that hot fire energy, right? And she said it's nice to counteract that energy with spending days lying in water, like in a pool, and just kind of using water to soften or to like to put out those Leo flames, right? And just to calm everything down. Even spending time on the beach, like you might be on that hot sand, but you can jump in the water and cool off. So utilize the water element in this deck, and just cool everything down, right? So she just pretty much says too at the end here that the Five of Wands, you might be under pressure. You might be suffering from performance anxiety. Remember that perfection is not the point. The point is literally to strive to discover what inner excellence hides inside of you. The gift may only come out under deadlines or public appearances or in competition. And when the period of stress comes to an end, accept whatever recognition comes. If no external validation is to be had, stand on your own damn podium and give yourself your own medal, right? Be your own person in your corner. Be your own cheer section. Give yourself credit for what you've learned, right? Because for the rigors of the fives are completed and justified by the sixes, right? And that's the thing, we're going to be coming into the sixes, which is about success and victory, right? So obviously we're going to do well. And even if it means us, like I said, being our own cheering then whatever. Be your own cheerleader. I mean, it happens, right? So it'll be interesting to see how this is going to play out. Usually I can kind of see how this is going to come out, but honestly, right now, I'm not really forecasting how this is going to come about. Like I said, I'm kind of like in this Four of Cups stupor where I'm just kind of like bleh. I have like that Four Cup blah energy still. So it'll be interesting to see. So obviously we're going to be, popped out of that bubble of the Four of Cups and we're going to have to hustle, right? So get ready to hustle because I think that's what's going to be coming our way. Over here, we've got the Ace of Wands, the Princess of Wands, and the Knight of Wands still happening. The princesses in the RW is the pages, remember? So Ace of Wands, Page of Wands, and Knight of Wands is all that fire energy. Look at the fire happening, eh? Okay, we've got a lot of fire. No wonder why she talked about like balancing it out and diluting it with water energy. I 100% agree with that. Yeah, find ways to stay cool. Find ways to maybe spend a little bit more time with water elements, right? Okay, and then let's get in here and let's look at these. So the Five of Wands in Hermetic Tarot is Lord of Strife. All right, so the Five of Wands cross each other. Flames leap from the point of junction. The symbol for Saturn and Leo appear at the center and also the top and near the bottom of the card. Two of the crossed wands are topped with lion heads, one fierce and the other one demented. It literally says demented, guys, indicating strife. Okay, you guys just wait till you see this card. You're going to, oh my God. This just this just made my day. The other two crossed wands have a sickle, two serpents hands down from the wind solar discs of the uprighted wand and intertwined with the sickles, which represents Saturn. At the bottom of the two of the wands are crocodile heads, which also represent Saturn. Two wands have small orbs, and the center wand has the Golden Dawn's arrow. The burning ends of the Two of Wands at the bottom of the card faces away from each other. Saturn is not well placed here. This cold, dry nature is not complementary to the fiery, royal nature of Leo. Hence, this card is named Lord of Strife. The Five of Wands pertain to the first decan of Leo, which is ruled by Saturn. All right, are you guys ready to see these two lions? Okay, so remember, one is a fierce looking lion and the other one is demented, indicating strife. Okay. Oh, okay, let's look at. Oh my God, is that not hilarious? So here's our fierce lion. Here's our demented lion. Ugh, too funny. That cracked me up. Okay. And then we've got the two crocodiles down here below with our Saturn and our Leo signs up here and below. There's a lot happening in this card, right? But at the same time, not as much as it seems like when you read the description in this, it sounds crazy. But yeah, so there's our Lord of Strife. So that's according to the Hermetic Tarot. That's the Five of Wands. Okay, let's look at the universe here. So we've got the Great One of the Night of Time. All right, we've got... This card is attributed to Saturn, whose sign appears on the double-headed eagle and is represented by the two sickles. The background of the card, sun, moon, and stars, represent the ever-expanding, ever-changing universe. In the middle of the card, at the left, is the sign of Taurus, represented by the bull. The sign of Leo, the lion, appears to the right. The man at the bottom suggests Aquarius, and the eagle of Scorpio, above completes the four cherubic signs. All right, there we go. It's a really cool card. Yeah, so there's the universe. And let's now read Fortitude. All right. So the sign of Leo appears at the upper right above the rows of the 5 petals, signifying the 5th sign of the zodiac. The female figure of fortitude represents the mastery of the lower by the higher. Her feet are planted firmly on earth, and she holds the lion in a manner similar to the soul holding passions in check. Leo is a fire sign, and fortitude is shown holding in her right hand a cup spewing flame. Here is the joy of strength exercised, showing complete ease and self possession. The card also depicts a lion on the shield of fortitude. Its meaning is preserving strength and energy. All right, so let me go take a look at that card. There you go. It's a really beautiful card, actually. I like the mannerism of the lion that they drew. That's a beautiful card. That's our cards. This is our Decan. This is what's going to be in place for the next 10 or so days. If we look at the wheel, we can see. So this is in place now from July 21st to July 30th. So our next video will be out for July 31st, and we'll be looking at the Six of Wands. There you have it. This is what's going to be in place for the next little bit. I hope everything goes well. I hope there's not too much fire and too much chaos and arguments and competitions and in good ways, right? Like I always say to everybody, like competition, arguments, all that stuff can be very constructive as long as it's done properly, right? But when people's tempers start getting the best of them, that's when we start to not have a good results, or it's not beneficial, right? So remember our strength card, okay? Try to come at things from a timid manner, a calm manner, right? But don't be afraid to take it on, because you can do it, right? So there we go. I hope everybody has a great beginning to their Leo season, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Enjoy yourself. Try to dilute that fire energy with some water. All right, see you guys later.